What's going on, you guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital, and welcome to the video. In this video, we had the pleasure of interviewing the chairman and director of Aftermath Silver, Michael Williams, on the future of the company and their exciting projects that they're up to in Peru and Chile. Aftermath Silver is a silver exploration stage company, and I'm really excited to be talking about silver, guys, so let's get straight into this interview and let's talk all about Aftermath Silver with Michael Williams. Last but not least, do support me the channel and all the videos. Don't forget to hit that like button, along with if you are a new viewer. We appreciate steady updates on the markets, new and exciting companies like Aftermath Silver. Then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications, and let's get straight into this video. What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital. We're here with Michael Williams, chairman and director of Aftermath Silver. How are you doing today, Michael?
Hey, good, Aaron. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the channel. So, can we start off by telling us a little bit about Aftermath Silver?
Aftermath's silver company, it's as the name implies, it's a silver-focused junior mining exploration development company. And we've been putting it together for several years, myself and my two partners, Peter Valgaris and Ralph Rushton. And the idea was to create a vehicle that would offer investors significant silver exposure, but within 24 to 36 months, an opportunity to demonstrate the economics of our projects. And we've sort of, I think, put the final piece of the puzzle together. And now we're rolling out that sort of 24-month, 36-month plan, which is to demonstrate to the market some value associated with these projects.
Yeah, I'm excited to cover your story. So, you recently announced some exciting news about your Barangay acquisition. Can you tell our viewers more about that?
Well, Barangay is a silver project in Peru, in the south, near a place called Arequipa. It's close to rail. Its infrastructure is really good by Peruvian standards. It is in the Andes. That's always, you're dealing at elevation, but the miners and people down there are used to it. But it's a large system that has significant ounces of gold, significant pounds of copper and manganese. So it's a polymetallic system, but A, it's large, and B, it doesn't appear from what we've seen that it could. I think it's going to be an open pit target based on what it looks like, the strip ratio, and that's always key in mining and in going forward and making these projects economic. If you can make them open pitable, then it certainly is a big plus. And Aaron, you and I were talking before, there's just not a lot of silver companies that A, have large assets, but B, that are open pitable in a jurisdiction that you should be able to move them forward. And that's always a critical thing too, is will you be able to advance the project? Is there water in the region? Do the local people, are they on side? And I always maintain in this environment we're in and have been in for the last, I'll call it 15, 20 years, permitting is always an issue for mining companies. If anyone tells you it's not, I think they're being disingenuous. Our issues are manageable. I think, we're very cognizant of them. The first thing we're going to do at Barangay is hire a community relations manager and just start that process now. And there's things you can do from an engineering process that tie in with social concerns. So far, and it doesn't appear, and we did our due diligence on it, that the local people seem to be on side. But bearing in mind is, we're going to take this to the next stage now, and we'll be starting to talk economics in a couple of months, or probably 24 months. That's when people start asking questions. How big is this going to be? What are you going to do with wastewater? Things like that. Now, if we know that what the concerns are, we can build our engineering around it. So that's where we sit. But it is, make no mistake about it, a significant asset. We use the word transformational. I truly believe it is. And that, coupled with our other project in Chile, Chayacoyo, it's also going to be potentially a big system. We have 30 million historic ounces. We can see really expanding that significantly. And the goal there also is to make it an open pit mine. So if you've got potentially two open pit ore bodies of that magnitude, I think we've differentiated ourselves from, call it 99% of our peer companies. But what we do internally, and this, just so you know, when we evaluate projects, we don't do it as an optionality to the metal. And I don't know if your subscribers have heard that term, but a lot of guys will say, well, our deposit really works well at $30 silver. It crushes it. Well, what happens if silver goes back to historic levels and it's $16, $17? Do you shutter it, and or can you build it? We try see these things work at those metal prices, and I think that's a key tenet going forward. So in some ways, I like to think these are largely de-risked projects, from the sense a lot of work's already been done, discoveries have been made, there's ounces and tons in the ground. We just need now to demonstrate economics on them. So, and then start putting all the pieces together. So from that point of view, and I think we're way ahead of the game. If silver pulls back, this is the silver market that we thought we would be in. Now, we've been, a bit like a broken clock. We've been saying this for years, but it appears to be here. Now, if there's a temporary setback, we can deal with it, and it doesn't impact the overall viability of either project in my mind.
Yeah, I think that's very important. So how will this acquisition benefit shareholders?
Well, I think you get several fronts. We still, if you look at our company, because this Barangay transaction is relatively new, the market's just absorbing it. If you look at some of the comps, we're still undervalued compared to them. And I hate to use that word undervalued, because every junior mining company has probably ever been on your show, oh, we're undervalued. But I would say, look at the comps for what we have of our ounces and copper tons in the ground. Compare it to some of the other companies. I think you'd made the comment that we were one of the larger junior development stories out there now. But I think we've got quality ounces, and I think if you look at our grades, are probably right at the top. So which certainly puts us in a different league. So I think we've got a lot of room to grow, and we've got something where you do have exposure. If you believe silver's going up, there's very few good silver companies out there, and I'm not casting dispersion on the industry. It's just a real tough metal to make economic as a primary metal, and by that I mean, it'll be a silver mine. Now, it's going to have really good copper and manganese values. Mining's about making money. And I think if we do this right, this could make a lot of money for a lot of people, because it's big and it's got, grade. Grade is king in mining. So it gives you exposure, it gives you upside, gives you leverage, but it also gives you some stability.
Yeah, no, that's very exciting. So let's talk a little bit about mining jurisdictions now. I've gotten a lot of comments about just different mining jurisdictions in general. How is Peru and Chile?
Chile's good. Chile's, I'll address Chile first. It's got a mining history. A lot of its GDP is from mining. It's the government, even when the different government comes in, the opposition comes into power, they all tend to be, mining centric. They've got a good court system, which is key, probably the best in South America. You don't worry about your projects. You can go to bed at night and wake up in the morning and know that there's no issues there. The challenge in Chile is always around water. And both our projects are in the northern copper belts. So water up in the Atacama Desert. And I think we've got strategies around water. We don't think it's going to be a problem. That stuff is when we look at it in our economic, in the case of Chayacoyo in Chile, that'll be addressed through the PEA. And then we're going straight to pre-feasibility study in our Peruvian project, Barangay. So Chile's great. I really, I always say it's the top South American jurisdiction. I think the second would be Peru. Now, your challenge in Peru is, and I mentioned it earlier, we're higher up, so you're working at altitude, which there's a lot of mines up in the Andes. That won't be an issue, but you've got to be cognizant of it. The challenge there is always social, community relations. You want the local people to be in favor of mining. You don't, the NGOs, especially for big projects, always try, push back. And if you're not on top of it and doing the things that you should be doing and enlisting, the NGOs can get traction and make it more difficult to permit. So I think those are your issues in Peru. They're both good jurisdictions from a government point of view, and their taxation, they're good, and they're both highly rated by the Fraser Institute, which rates all the mining jurisdictions. I should know what they are, but the next time I'm on, I'll tell you.
No, that's great. That's great to know, because some of the viewers, they tend to be picky with their mining jurisdictions, but
no, as they should be.
Yeah. No.
I always, we view everything on a risk-reward basis, and if we went into a riskier area, let's call it Bolivia, which has some great operations, and you have to be prepared. But it's got a government that could change overnight, and I don't want to say nationalize, but certainly, I wouldn't feel safe there unless you definitely know how to operate. And same with, Ecuador has gotten better, but Peru and Chile are in a different league.
Yeah, that's great to know for you guys. So what's the one thing our viewers should be most excited about for Aftermath Silver in the near future or for the rest of the year?
Well, we should have quite a bit of news flow. You'll see, now we're in a COVID environment. We still haven't been able to get on the ground in either projects. As soon as we're able to get on the ground, you'll see lots of news flow going forward. I think the company's become high profile in the space. So a lot of people are talking about us. You should be able to watch us advance those projects as we put out news, and it'll be coupled with drill results. So lots going on. We don't have to make any further acquisitions. I think with these two projects are set going forward. Just watch what we do.
Awesome. So, with silver moving up so fast, we saw a really nice run up. Now we're getting maybe a bit of consolidation. How high do you personally think it's going to go, or do you have a target, or can you comment on that? I know it's kind of a tough question.
I'll tell you, well, we were in negotiations when silver was starting to move. I was starting to get scared because, we were starting to get giddy at $22 silver, because if you had an operation like this in production with that much, or assuming it's economic, the difference between say 17 and 22 is huge. They're like phenomenal. Now we're up at what, 27? I'm thrilled. But having said that, I could see $35 silver. I'm not a uber silver bull. If it goes above there, it gets kind of silly. The numbers look silly. But what we always look for, and I know one of our big shareholders, Eric Sprott, he made the comment the other day that he sees silver going over $100. Now, Eric is probably the preeminent precious metal investor in the world, I would say. Is that fair comment? And he's not a billionaire several times over for being wrong. So, I'll defer to Eric on that. But I'll tell you what, I'm happy if it's above 20 from a mining point of view. That's what we look to. When you run these companies, I have to go backwards. Does it hold up at 16, 17? Okay, we're all right. Everything else is just gravy. But silver's it's an odd commodity, because sometimes it gets priced as a precious metal, then other times it gets priced as an industrial metal. Right now, it's a little bit of a hybrid, because people are talking electric vehicles. Silver is used in that going forward. A lot of green energy uses silver. So it's the supply demand. There's supply demand issues, but people also see it as an alternative to gold. They like the leverage. A lot of our shareholders are firm believers that it offers a lot more leverage than gold, and they like holding the physical. It's easier to get, and so it's a good commodity once you're there, right? Because the silver universe is small. The gold universe is fairly big. So it's tough as a junior company to stand out in the gold space. It's a lot easier if you've got some decent assets on the silver space too. We hit above a weight class.
I think silver is in a fantastic spot. So, what's the best way for our audience to learn more about Aftermath Silver, or where should they go?
If you go to our website, aftermath.com, it's got everything in our public disclosure. And feel free to call myself. Our number is listed on the website, or Ralph Rushton, the CEO. If anyone has any questions of us, or reach out, send us an email, mw@aftermathsilver.com.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to covering your exciting story.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Aaron. Take care.
All right, guys, that wraps up the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. Drop those comments below. Let me know what you think about the company. And we're out of here. Always remember, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you're making your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.